This video is about the eventful history of Argentina, from the first indigenous peoples to the political and economic challenges of today. I will explain how the country developed from Spanish colonization to modern political struggles. Thousands of years ago, indigenous peoples lived in Argentina. Groups like the Mapuche and Guarani hunted and gathered. They had their own languages and traditions. Their traces can be found in cave paintings and tools. These cultures existed long before the Europeans. In 1516, the Spanish explorer Juan Díaz de Solís landed on Argentina's coast. He explored the Rio de la Plata, but was killed by indigenous people. In 1536, Pedro de Mendoza founded Buenos Aires, but the settlement was soon abandoned. The Spanish came for silver and land. It was the beginning of colonization. In the 16th century, Argentina became part of the Spanish viceroyalty of Peru. Cities like Córdoba and Tucumán were founded. The Spanish introduced the encomienda system, forcing indigenous people into labor. Many natives died from diseases like smallpox. The colonial period shaped society. In 1580, Juan de Garay refounded Buenos Aires. The city grew through trade with Europe, often illegal. It was located on the Rio de la Plata, ideal for ships. The region became an important center, but the Spanish tightly controlled everything. In 1776, Spain created the viceroyalty of the Rio de la Plata with Buenos Aires as its capital. It included Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and parts of Bolivia. The economy grew through cattle ranching and leather trade, but the colonists were unhappy with Spain's rules. Ideas of independence began to take root. In 1806 and 1807, the British tried to conquer Buenos Aires. The colonists successfully defended themselves without Spanish help. These victories boosted the confidence of the Creoles, Spaniards born in America. It showed they could manage without Spain. Independence became thinkable. In 1810, the May Revolution began in Buenos Aires. The colonists deposed the Spanish viceroy. They formed their own government, the Primera Junta. It was the first step toward independence, but Spain did not recognize the movement. In 1816, Argentina declared independence at the Congress of Tucumán. The provinces agreed to become their own country. José de San Martín and other leaders fought Spanish troops. The struggle continued for years. Argentina was now free but divided. After independence, Argentina's provinces fought each other. The Unitarians wanted a strong central government in Buenos Aires, while the Federalists wanted more power for the provinces. There were civil wars and chaos. Leaders like Juan Manuel de Rosas shaped this time. Argentina was fragmented. Rosas ruled as a powerful governor from 1829 to 1852. He was a federalist and controlled Buenos Aires. His rule was authoritarian, and he suppressed opponents. Rosas promoted cattle ranching, but his dictatorship was controversial. He was overthrown in 1852. In 1853, Argentina got a constitution meant to unite the country. It created a republic with Buenos Aires as the capital. But Buenos Aires initially refused to join. Only after fighting in 1861 was the country truly united. The Constitution still shapes Argentina today. In the 1870s, Argentina carried out the conquest of the desert against indigenous peoples in the south. General Julio Roca led the campaign. Many Mapuche and other groups were killed or displaced. The land was open to settlers. It was a brutal time for the indigenous. From the 1880s, millions of immigrants arrived in Argentina, mainly from Italy and Spain. They settled in Buenos Aires and rural areas. Immigrants helped develop agriculture and industry. Argentina became more diverse. Buenos Aires grew into a metropolis. In the late 19th century, Argentina became wealthy through exports. Beef, grain, and wool were sent to Europe. Railroads connected the country, and Buenos Aires modernized. Argentina was one of the richest countries in the world, but wealth was unevenly distributed. Despite wealth, politics were unstable. Conservatives, mostly large landowners, controlled the country. Elections were often rigged, and workers had few rights. Dissatisfaction grew, especially among the working class. Reforms became necessary. In 1912, the Sáenz-Peña Law introduced secret male suffrage. It made elections fairer and allowed more democracy. The Radical Party won the 1916 election with Hipólito Yrigoyen. Workers and the middle class gained more influence. It was a turning point. From 1916 to 1930, the Radical Party governed. Yrigoyen and later Marcelo T. de Alvear promoted education and workers' rights. But the 1929 global economic crisis hit Argentina hard. Unemployment and poverty increased. Democracy weakened. In 1930, the military took power and removed Yrigoyen. The infamous decade began, marked by corruption and electoral fraud. Conservatives and the military ruled together. The economy slowly recovered, but many were unhappy. Democracy suffered greatly. In 1943, the military took power again, and Juan Perón became influential. As labor minister, he helped workers with better wages and rights. In 1946, he was elected president. His wife Evita was very popular. Peronism shaped Argentina. Perón's government promoted industry and social justice. Workers received vacations and pensions, and the economy grew. Evita helped the poor through her foundation. But Perón was authoritarian and suppressed opponents. His policies divided the country. In 1955, Perón was overthrown by a military coup. He went into exile, and Peronism was banned. The military and civilians alternated in power. The economy struggled, and strikes were frequent. Argentina was politically unstable. In 1963, elections were held, but Peronists were banned from running. Arturo Illia became president and supported education. But in 1966, the military staged another coup. The Argentine Revolution was a harsh dictatorship. Perón's followers were further repressed. In 1973, Perón was allowed to return and was re-elected president. His third wife, Isabel, became vice president. Perón died in 1974, and Isabel took over. Her government was weak, and violence between left and right grew. The country faced chaos. In 1976, the military seized power in a brutal dictatorship. Until 1983, it waged the dirty war against opponents. Thousands were kidnapped, tortured, or killed. They disappeared. The government controlled everything. It was a dark time. In 1982, Argentina attacked the British Falkland Islands to strengthen the dictatorship. Britain quickly won the war. The defeat weakened the military. Protests against the regime grew. It marked the end of military rule. In 1983, Raúl Alfonsín was elected president in free elections. He courageously put dictators on trial. But the economic crisis and hyperinflation made governing difficult. Argentina struggled with debt. Democracy was back, but fragile. Carlos Menem became president in 1989. He introduced market reforms and pegged the peso to the dollar. Inflation dropped and the economy grew, but his government was corrupt and the poor got poorer. Menem defined the 1990s. In 2001, a severe economic crisis broke out. The peso lost value and many lost their savings. There were protests and looting in Buenos Aires. President Fernando de la Rúa resigned. Argentina had 5 presidents in 2 weeks. Nestor Kirchner became president in 2003, followed by his wife Cristina in 2007. They promoted social programs and paid off debts. The economy recovered, but corruption and inflation remained problems. Their governments were popular but polarizing. Argentina sought stability. Today, Argentina struggles with inflation, poverty, and political division. Mauricio Macri, 2015 to 2019, and Alberto Fernandez, since 2019, faced economic crises. The culture, from tango to football, remains strong. Argentina is a country full of potential. It seeks its path to the future.